Hey Yeti Club, recently I got to try out Topolino Terrace at the brand new Riviera resort, and I gotta say I have mixed feelings about this restaurant. The first thing to note is that this resort as a whole is supposed to be inspired by Walt Disney's trips through Europe. It's not supposed to make it feel like you're in Europe, just inspired by it. This is a big distinction, and it's a reason why the theming is a lot more subtle and toned down compared to somewhere that's made to be fully immersive like the Polynesian or Port Orleans. That plays directly into that atmosphere, which is fine. It looks nice, but that's about it. It looks like you're eating in a nice hotel restaurant, which you are, but it doesn't really feel like Disney. It's modern, but there's really nothing special about it, which kind of let me down a bit. The big draw is that it's on top of the resort, but if it's night, you can't really see very much out the windows or really even tell you're that high up, unless you're seated right next to a window, which is a really small percent of the restaurant. They do have a patio outside that looks like a little bar will be open out there at some point, and when you're out there, you have a spectacular view of Disney, including a great view of fireworks. But you can't eat your meal out there, so it doesn't really boost the dining experience all that much. Let's get to the food though. You start off with a fancy kind of bread that comes with one French and one Italian version of oil to dip it in. The bread was great, and it was really fun to compare the different oils. For the entree, I had the rigatoni, which was served with chicken, Parmigiano Reggiano, and an excellent cream sauce. It was a very simple and straightforward dish, but the flavors worked together perfectly, and the pasta had possibly the best texture I've ever had. For dessert, we had the Valrhona chocolate cake with chantilly and raspberries. It was very, very rich and had a caramel center. Honestly, a bit too rich for me, but my wife loved it. Overall, it was a solid meal, but my main issue is the pricing. I know this is Disney, but my dish was the cheapest entree on the menu at $32, and honestly, it wasn't a very big portion. Most dishes will run you $45 to $50. At most Disney spots, I get the higher prices because a lot of times you're paying for the experience of the theming and atmosphere. But like I said, Topolino doesn't have much of a theme, and it has a pretty basic atmosphere. This leaves the only standout feature to be the view, but like I mentioned before, the view doesn't really come into play much for most of the diners in the restaurant. So what are we really paying for? Simply because it's new? You tell me. At the end of the day, I'm glad we got to experience this new addition to Disney dining, and the resort itself is really nice. Hopefully soon I'll get to do a full video about the whole Riviera resort, but I don't think I'll need to revisit Topolino Terrace anytime soon. Let me know what you think of Topolino Terrace if you've eaten there yourself. Thanks for watching, and until next time, hoist the colors.